Okay, so I have Andrea Newton with me today, and we were just about to record a podcast, and we were having a wee chat about a little bit of a campaign Andrea has got on at the moment, called Stay Safe, Stay Sane. So Andrea, do you want to talk to us a little bit more about what that means?
Yeah, sure. I think at the moment there's an awful lot of information out there telling us how to take care of our physical health, how to minimise the risk to our physical health of the coronavirus. But the things that we're being told to do, the isolation, the social distancing, the staying at home, is actually stuff that we know is potentially detrimental to our mental health.
Yeah.
And so for me, the stay safe, stay sane is about recognising that we do need to obviously follow government guidelines when it comes to physical health. But there's also things that we need to be doing so that we're also taking care of our mental health. Just if you're not used to home working, for example, and all of a sudden you're sharing the dining table with a partner who's also not used to home working, and you've got two kids that you're also supposed to be homeschooling, and the dog needs walking and you can't get your shopping delivered, and there's just a real kind of recipe for chaos at the minute. And then I also got to thinking about people for whom home may not be a safe place in any case,
Yeah.
If they're living with somebody who perhaps somebody who has mental health problems, and all of a sudden they're isolated with that person, or somebody who perhaps has an alcohol dependency, or indeed, as in a situation that I know very well, somebody who's perhaps living with domestic violence, domestic abuse. Home isn't necessarily safe for those people.
No.
And so the campaign really for me was just about putting some ideas out there to help people kind of hang on to their sanity when all around us stuff's in chaos, stuff's out of our control, and we're living in ways that we never would have anticipated.
No.
I mean, I don't know if you saw the photographs yesterday of London. Someone had taken some photos of London and it looked really freaky. It was really eerie seeing
28 days later.
Yeah, completely empty streets. Just so bizarre. So yeah, stay safe, stay sane is just kind of, if you like, 12 top tips to help people, kind of think about mental health in times when the focus seems to be very much more around our physical health and well-being.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about your background, I suppose, in the podcast. We're supposed to be doing now, but we'll do after this. But yes, could you imagine if this was 3 years ago?
No, absolutely not. If this was 3 years ago and I was going through what I was going through then, along with this kind of, and I'm going to use the word lockdown, even though we've been told that that's not what it is. But if I'd have been confined to barracks, if you like, without the support of my friends, my social scaffold, without the opportunity to get away from it from time to time, I just can't imagine that I would even still be alive today, if I'm honest. Yeah. I mean, my story, that I looked over the edge even then, and to be in that situation and have all this going on at the same time, honestly, I just can't imagine ever having survived it, if I'm honest.
I think it's hard enough when you love your partner and you love your kids, and you quite like your dog walks, and but it's almost how do we juggle all the stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you talked about not being able to get the shopping, and worrying about your relatives and not going to see them, and so it is a pretty tricky time for most people at the moment, I think.
So hopefully most people, that's their situation. Their biggest concern is, can I get the particular tin of beans that I want from Asda this week?
Oh, it's my mum and the potatoes. And the dog food as well. I had to go on its internet.
Dog food. Yeah, no, I've had to downgrade my dog, and I think he's actually written to his MP. So things like that. And again, we wouldn't normally think about things like that, and we can laugh about things like that. But I know for me, a couple of years ago, work for me was my escape. Work was my safe place. Work was a place that I went to where I could be me. and say what I wanted and do what I wanted within reason, obviously.
Yeah.
But where I didn't have to play a game to just stay safe with the people that I lived with. And I remember there were some times when I'd go to work and I used to think about what could I do to delay the going home bit. Imagine if I was in that situation now, Michelle. So the whole thing about being safe and home being a safe place, I guess I just wanted to acknowledge that isn't necessarily the case for everybody.
Yeah.
But even as you say, even if you're in a loving relationship where life is what it needs to be, even now tensions are going to be running high. People haven't got their bulk holes to go to. Ladies aren't enjoying being a golf widow quite so much, and blokes aren't getting chance to control the remote while she's out at Fat Club or whatever it is that we all do. We're all being flung in this kind of small space and being told to get on with it. No. So yeah, stay safe, stay sane is about acknowledging that and saying, what can I do that gives me a little bit of a foothold on this craziness?
Okay, so if somebody likes the sound of that, you prepared a document. Where's that?
I've put together a download, and it's on the AndreaNewton.com website. So nice and easy, AndreaNewton.com. If you go there, you'll see that you can download the PDF, have a little read through it. And obviously, if anybody's got any questions, if I can help anybody in any way at the moment, I'm more than happy to. I'm not a counsellor, I'm not a therapist, and I don't pretend to be. But hopefully what I can do is perhaps signpost people to the place where they can get the help that they might need right now.
Yeah.
And also just to say, for people who perhaps do need to have some help externally, perhaps you're not in a position that you can make a phone call to talk to support services, please be aware that people like Samaritans do have other ways of contacting. You can contact them by text, you can contact them by email. So if you are in a situation where you're in a home and you need that kind of support, but you can't use the phone to have a conversation, please do know that there are other ways of getting the support that you might need right now, and do take advantage of that, is what I would say to you.
Oh, thank you, Andrea. I think that's been very useful.
You're more than very welcome.
And we're going to do a podcast now, so
alrighty.
It'll be either next week or the week after then that comes out.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you.